Happy Monday. Running a couple minutes late, but Taskmaster and I are here for our Monday update. How are you doing, Task?
Oh, all right, all right. Been looking at the camera most of the day, it seems. Well, not at the camera because the spaces aren't on camera. But anyway, you get my point. It's
Right, right.
on calls and a really a historic day in the Leo sphere, the Leo verse, the Leo ecosystem. A big step forward announced.
And and that is with the Maya, right? The
Well, yeah, I
collateral.
mean, we already there was ties to Maya and the Maya protocol, and Leo Dex is already integrated into that in terms of swapping and adding the liquidity pool and things of that nature. But there was an announcement from the Maya team. And I don't know if it was the first time this was announced publicly, or if it was out there and we didn't know. I didn't know about it. But what they said is they announced, and their call was about the uh, collateralized lending. And this is something that Thorchain has set up, that MakerDAO has set up. There's different types of collateralized lending uh, systems out there, but the difference is like with MakerDAO, you use I think Bitcoin and Ethereum. Uh, I'm not sure what you use on Thorchain. I thought they said you can only use Room, but it may also take Bitcoin or something like that. But the big news was on Maya, they're doing their lending a bit different than Thorchain. And one of the biggest differences is that any token that has a liquidity pool on Maya, which Leo does, can then be used for collateralization.
Okay. So Maya, all right, let me get this make sure I'm Maya is like another platform, like a decentralized platform, or is it a chain of its own? How does that work?
Maya is a protocol.
Protocol.
And what they do is they set up infrastructure that allows for different types of financial activities,
Okay.
such as swapping of multi chain tokens. And it is tied to a blockchain. I believe they have a blockchain that they write to. And so you can pull all the Maya info off the chain, just like you can pull Hive info off the Hive blockchain. And what they do is, unlike in Leo or PD, which you utilize for blogging purposes or threading purposes or voting purposes or all that stuff, Maya really focuses upon DeFi. And the first thing that they've done, or one of the things they've done, is this multi chain um, swapping, which they were a fork of Thorchain, and that's Thorchain's claim to fame. Then they set up the ability to have liquidity pools on Maya and be paired with Maya, which with Cacao, which is the Maya token, and that's the Leo Cacao pool that we have the opportunity to provide liquidity to. And now they are adding another feature, which is the ability to do collateralized lending, where you go in and you take, I don't know, $5,000 in Leo, let's say, $500 in Leo, and you take a loan against that Leo and you put up the Leo as collateral. And I believe they said the payout would be in Cacao, which then you can swap for whatever you want. So, whatever you're going to do with the loan. So, one of the things a Nomad Soul, Eric, came up with, evidently he DM'd Cal, and he said, how about taking your Leo, putting a loan, collateralizing it, getting a loan, taking the loan, transferring that back to Hive, getting Hive. So you go from cacao to Hive, power up the Hive, delegate the Hive to Leo voter, get your 16% APR that's paid out in Leo, and then you take that Leo to pay back your loan. And now you have not only the original Leo that you put up as collateral, you also have the Hive that was acquired. And you pay off the loan and rinse and repeat.
So you're working with this isn't this has to be liquid, right? I mean, you can't.
Yeah, you have to have actually it has to be a Leo. You have to move the Leo from Hive Engine over to Maya because it's on the Maya chain. So just like when you get into the liquidity pool, you have to move your Leo through wleo.io. You have to move the Leo and bridge it over to Arbitrum. Actually, that's where Leo resides, uh, tied to Maya. So you get effectively a Leo. I mean, it's
Which is
not called.
Arbitron Leo or what?
Yeah, it's Arbitron Leo, but it's Leo. It's what you see in your wallet
Mm-hmm.
when you go there, and
Uh-huh.
you look at your Leo Dex wallet, and there it is. It's Leo, but that's really Arbitron Leo. And so then what you do is then you would, when it's built, is you would probably be able to um, somewhere in Leo Dex click loans or lending or something of that nature,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can collateralize your um, Arbitrum Leo for, I think it's cacao, but we'll just say it's cacao. I might be mistaken on that. And whatever you get in return, you get that cacao, and then you can do whatever you want with the cacao. You can take the cacao and split it up and put it in the liquidity pool. You can convert it to USDC and send it to your Coinbase. You can go do what I just said with the Hive. You can do what Nifty said. Go and use that to pay for your yearly subscription to Leo Premium. I mean, there's no telling what you can do with the money once you get it. You can take it and go on vacation if you want.
So basically, you can get a business loan on
Yeah,
this.
you're tapping into the value. It's no different than, and I wrote an article about this tonight, but it's no different than like the proverbial using your home as an ATM. So
Okay.
what happens when people refi? Okay, they have, let's say, a $250,000 house. They refi. They had $100,000 in equity plus 150,000 in a note. Well, they go refi for whatever. Let's say they're able. What I say, 150 gets paid off. Let's say they get I don't know, after fees, they get 90,000. So now you took 90,000. Of course, they have a loan on 240,000 now, instead of the 150 that was left, and they take the other 90,000 out in cash. And maybe they did that because they purchased the house for 200,000, paid it down over the years, and the house went up in value. Now, what do you do with the 90,000 in cash? Well, if you're a real estate investor, you take it and you go put it down on another property. A lot of people go buy a car, go on vacation, or do whatever with it, and that's where the 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 knock against using the house as the ATM, because people do stupid crap with the money. But even then, it's better than going on vacation and put it on your credit card, because your credit card's down yet 22%, and the mortgage will be at 5.5% or whatever the hell it is. So this is the same type of concept. You have an asset. It's called Leo. Your
Mm-hmm.
asset has a particular USD value, and you are accessing that USD value by putting it up as collateral. If you don't pay back the loan, the collateral is taken. If you pay back the loan, you get the collateral back. Now, the nice thing about that is, if you put up a loan, let's say 1,000 Leo at 7 cents, that is $70, right? My math right? No. Yeah, at 7 cents, it would be $70. Well, what happens if Leo goes from 7 cents to 21 cents? Well, now you would have $210. If you sold that out at 7 cents to get the $70, you're out of the game. But if you take out a loan and you get to $70 and you still have your asset, and it goes up to 210, you still have $210 worth of Leo because you still have your 1,000 Leo at 21 cents. Plus you have the $70, but then over time you're going to pay that back. So that's the difference. That's how you're able, and plus whatever you did with the asset, the $70, like I said, well, put it in HBD and get 20%. Well, now you got another $14 a year coming in. That's how you can leverage what you have, access the value, and put it to work.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So the idea is the idea is never to have to sell your Leo. It's like, why sell it? Just take a loan against it. If you believe in Leo long term, if you're a long term hodler. I mean, if you're somebody trading it and you think Leo's reached a peak and going to drop 40%, okay, then you're trading. But if you're somebody who says, "Well, I'm holding this for the next 10 years," well, there's a way to get access to the value without selling.
What about no, it's probably better like if you took the loan and then staked it.
You could do that. I mean, it all depends on what the interest rate. If you're taking a loan at 3% and you stake it and you're rating at 8.5%, yeah, you're going to come out way ahead. If the loan is 10% and you stake it and curate it, you're going to be down 1.5%. So you'd have to see. You better have another reason for the staking in that instance. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and maybe you do. I don't know. I mean, that's up to the
It was
individual.
just a thought. Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
like, you don't have to come out net positive. I mean, let's talk about taking the trip. What if you have and you get a loan for, let's say, $4,000 to go on vacation, and the loan's at 8% on 4 grand. Well, that's going to be a lot better than buying the airline tickets and putting the hotel and the rental car and the dinners on your Visa card.
right,
Because if you don't have the money when you get back from the trip, every month you're going to get hit up at the 20 or 22% APR on whatever balance is left. So if you don't have the 4 grand to pay it off, you're going to be paying, interest and heavy interest on it. Well, with this, you have the 4 grand because you get cacao, you throw it to USDC or whatever, you run it into your Coinbase or your Binance, and you convert it to cash, put it in your checking account, and then when the bill comes in, you pay the Visa bill, the credit card bill, and yeah, you got your loan outstanding that you have to pay with out of income in some way, shape, or form, but it's at 8% instead of 22% of the credit card. Um, that's
the
just an
thing is,
example.
that's huge. That's a big, big difference.
Yeah, on 50 or $100, who cares? But on 4 or 5 grand, especially if you're going to have to carry it for a year, that adds up to a lot of money.
Yeah, Roy and I don't usually carry a tab on the credit card. He just pay. We use the credit card and then he just pays it, so we never
Yeah,
run.
but that's just another. I mean, we're going to have to get innovative and think of use cases for this. But the big thing is it's another utility for Leo. So you just think about Leo and 19 million Leo out there. I checked. There's about 1.2 million in the liquidity pools. Now that can fluctuate. That's not locked, but it's in the liquidity pools. You got, I don't even know what percentage is staked. So I've heard it was over 70%. And now, once this goes live, there will be a certain amount of Leo. I mean, what happens if there's a million Leo in the protocol as collateral on loans? Well, that's a million Leo that's not out there freely floating. Now, it's not it locked in because somebody can go pay back the loan and access the Leo. But the point being is, where is all this Leo going? And suddenly it's like, oh, wait, there's not a lot on the market here. And so if you want to go and buy 100,000 Leo, it's going to be very tough. I mean, it's easier now with the liquidity pools, but even still, that cacao liquidity pool, if you walk in with 10 grand, it's
It's
that's
going
a,
to go.
well, it's about a tenth. I mean, you're going to have to do a lot of transactions and do it over time simply because of slippage and stuff like that. You got to be very careful. So, I mean that's all. I mean that's why there is enormous incentive for everybody who's associated with Leo to start filling the Leo pool, the Leo cacao pool, and also we can't overlook the diesel pool. That's important too. But we got to get thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of thousands of more dollars in there because that's going to impact the slippage. That's going to affect the interest rates. That's going to affect everything.
And slippage is what happens between, like, when the transaction is waiting to happen, like if the token goes up or down in value. Is that
No,
what's
no,
happening?
no. Slippage is the slippage is basically the spread between the buy and the ask. And so if you have a very liquid asset like Apple
Mm-hmm.
stock, Tesla stock, anything that's heavily traded, General Motors, GE, I mean, ain't big name. Bitcoin, same thing. Um, your difference between your bid and your ask is going to be like a penny. But you go into like the penny stock world, you'll see the bid and the ask be like 10 cents. But the problem is that's 10 cents for like $20. If you try to go in and you buy like $300 or $3,000, your spread may be $1 and or 50 cents. And so, you're trying to buy it and you're offering $1.25 and you're going to get it for $2.25. I mean, that's a lot of slippage. So you're not getting. I mean, you're losing 60%. Actually, you're losing 80% or close to it in that scenario of the amount of the asset you're going to get back due to slippage. So this is where the greater the liquidity, the tighter the bid and the ask get because you have a much deeper pool. You have the ability for a lot more activity. So if you are going in instead, I mean, the slippage in the Leo cacao pool for, you know, $50, $100 is nothing. But if you went in and tried to buy 20 grand, I mean, the whole pool's only at like 108 grand. So you're going to have major, major slippage to the point where it's like not even worth doing it. So
Okay.
that's where you have to look because you go in with 20 grand and you may only get 16 grand worth of Leo or cacao, whichever way you're going back. So that's where slippage is tied to liquidity, it's tied to trades, tied to all of that. So we want it deeper. And then one of the things that they said, the interest rate on the lending is contingent upon the total liquidity locked with Maya, and then the specific pool, the Leo pool, relative to the total. And so, if you have a very small pool with not a lot of liquidity, the interest rate is going to be higher than if you have a very deep pool with lots of liquidity. So that's why we also want it. So it's a lower rate because then if there's a lower rate, then we can stake our Leo or we can put up our Leo as collateral and get
Mm-hmm.
Leo, go back into Leo and stake that. And if it's a 3% versus 8.5%, you're good to go. But if the interest rate on the Leo loan is 20%, not a lot of options there. Now all of a sudden we're limited in what we can do.
Right.
So that's where that liquidity is so important, and that's where getting in the habit of everybody adding liquidity is crucial because not only is there less slippage, then we also can handle more transactions and more importantly, larger transactions.
And how do you go about doing that? How, like, how do you get that liquidity in there?
Well, you have to bridge your Leo over from Hive Engine to Arbitron. Then you take your Leo and half of it you have to convert to cacao, or you have to maybe take some Hive, bridge it over through Leo and get some cacao. So you need, let's say, $50 in Leo, $50 in cacao, and then you can put both of those because then it's even. Now, the amount of the coins are going to be different. It'll be a lot more Leo than cacao because cacao's like $1 and Leo's like 7 cents. So it's obviously a huge difference in the amounts. But you take $100 in Leo or $100, you have $50 in Leo, $50 in cacao. You put that in the liquidity pool and you just added $100 to the liquidity pool. And as transactions are made, the amount of Leo and cacao you have will fluctuate back and forth based upon how the trading's going and what people are buying more of versus selling more of. But the liquidity pools are all based in USD. They're all denominated in USD. That's a unit of account. Even though there's no dollars involved, your cacao is priced in dollars, your Leo's priced in dollars. You match it up 50-50, even amount in US dollars, and put whatever the appropriate amount of Leo is, whatever the appropriate amount of cacao is. And then you have that amount in the pool. And then you earn a return on that based upon the fees that are generated. And of course, the lending helps to generate fees. The lending gives people cacao. People then have a choice. What do they do with their cacao? If they want to do anything, they can use Leo Dex to do anything with it. So you either move back the value back onto chain and get Hive, get Leo, get whatever you want, or you just flip out a cacao into Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDC or whatever you want in that direction. Room, whatever's available. But then you're using Leo Dex also because unless you just want cacao, which maybe you do. I mean, then that's fine too. But if you want to do anything with it, if you're using Leo, you're probably going to use Leo Dex for that, and that means more transactions, more transaction fees, more activity.
That flywheel thing.
Exactly, exactly, and that's crucial, crucial. People need to realize that this is just one piece and it's another piece, but these are the things that keep feeding it and the circular system. And I mean, if we can take 1.9 million or whatever the hell the market cap is of Leo, and if we can access, let's say, 500,000 of it, and take that and start putting that to use, especially within Leo or within Hive, that'll really start pushing the price of Leo up. Which then, as the price of Leo goes up, if the price of Leo doubles, then the liquidity pool, at least the Leo part, doubles. So that means the pool goes up by 50%. You know, based upon, presuming cacao stays the same. Now, if cacao goes down in price, that's where you're, because again, the pool's based on US dollars. So what's the cacao worth? What's the Leo worth in US dollars?
So that's a big thing that went on today.
Yeah, because it's like, again, why are you ever going to sell your Leo at that point? I mean, it's not available now. So, I mean, but even if you are in a situation where you need to sell your Leo because you got some bills to pay, well, why sell it then? Why not take out a loan? Why not simply hold on to your Leo, take out a loan, use Leo Dex for that? Then you can go to your Binance, you can go to your Coinbase, you can go to whatever the hell you use. And because you can get USDC, you can get USDT, you can get any of those. And then you have the money to pay your bills. And then you just have to pay back your loan, but you still hold your Leo. And as you start earning more Leo or doing whatever, or more Hive or more whatever token you have, then you have the ability to pay back the loan, and still hold your Leo.
And what kind of documentation is behind these loans? I mean, you just go and ask for a loan. You don't have to like fill
You
out
put up
any.
your Leo. There's no documentation. You put up the Leo. It's the value of the Leo. If I want a loan for $500, and let's say it's let's say it's a double over collateralization, just to be easy. So I have to put up $1,000 in Leo. So I put up $1,000 in Leo, I get $500. If it's uh, let's say it's a 25% over collateralization, so I put up what's 25% of 500, $625 worth of Leo. I get $500 uh, back in a loan. So there's no documentation. It's you're putting up your collateral.
And by putting it up, how are you do like you just like say this is what I have in Leo or
Well,
do
there
you,
will be a part of Leo Dex where you will have your liquid Leo, so whatever $625 of Leo amounts to. And I have that liquid in my wallet. I go into Leo Dex. I have my Hive Engine wallet. My Hive wallet's connected to my Leo Dex wallet. And so then I go into the module where it says um, loan or whatever, lending or whatever the hell they call it.
mm-hmm.
And I say, this is what I want. And, it'll all be there. And I say, okay. And so my Leo then is sent from my account into the platform, into the protocol, and it's locked in there. And in return, in my wallet, I get cacao. And so now in my wallet, I see that I have a loan, and I see that there's whatever that works out to 10,000 high or Leo, and I got my cacao. And then I take my cacao out of my wallet, and I can do whatever I want. I can go get Bitcoin. I can go buy more Leo. I can do whatever I want. And then I don't know how it will be spelled out, but then there will be the terms for repayment, things of that nature. What needs to be done to keep the loan up to date, and we don't have those details until the full thing is rolled out. But then maybe once a month I have to pay it down, so I have to send in more Leo or send in more cacao, pay it back in cacao. They'll probably require payment in cacao, actually. So I mean, that's just it's like any other loan, except other loans you're relying on your credit. This is financial. This is secured lending. This is what banks do. That's why I was saying on the call, you got to think like a banker. It's time to think like a banker. That's what they do, and that's what collateralized lending is. You put up the collateral, and you get the loan. Um, you know, nobody gives a shit who you are. Nobody gives a shit about what you're putting up. Actually, what they care about in collateralized lending, they don't care about the credit. They care about liquidity, and that's where the depth is required because the protocol, if I default and if I don't um, pay back my loan, they will take my Leo. But because the protocol uses Maya, they're going to have to go into the Leo protocol, the Leo liquidity pool, and sell off the Leo for Maya because that's what the protocol operates in. That's what the lending pays out in. So they want, I presume, they want Maya back. And so you need the liquidity, and that's why the depth of the liquidity pool. Because if I try to get a $10,000 loan, or let's go even crazier, what if I try to get $100,000 loan with a liquidity pool that's only 108,000? Well, if I default on that 100 G's, how the hell are they ever going to get it? Because the second they try to go sell it, they're going to get 30 grand because the the spread will be so ridiculous that the only way they can fill it and sell all that Leo is for the price to plummet. Uh,
Mm.
And so that's where the depth and the liquidity come in. And having that ability that, as a lender, or in this case, as a lending platform. And I don't know the technical, so I don't know exactly who's on the other side of the loan. There probably will be note operators who are taking the other side. Uh, if I had to guess, but I don't know who is doing it exactly. But they want their money. I mean, they want to get back into Maya. So again, if it's a rather large amount compared relative to the liquidity pool, that's why they charge a higher interest rate. And that's why if it's a deep pool, they can charge a lower interest rate because they know that if I'm taking out $10,000 and it's $1 million pool, okay, that's no problem. Or a $10 million pool, no problem. $10,000 on an $80,000 pool, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a little too close.
Yeah, I mean, they may not even. There probably is going to be a ratio where they won't even take it, where they won't even do it. I'd have to do it in like 6 or 7 loans or something like that and break it out. Um, but that's again. I was asked on Friday on the Lions Den, at what price would I sell my do? Will I sell my Leo? And I didn't know this was coming. I mean, I knew at some point we get collateralized lending, but I said ideally with collateralized lending, you never sell it. I didn't know that three days later we'd have word on it being worked upon, and probably next couple months, maybe August, maybe it rolls out. I don't know, but yeah, this is a big deal. This could supercharge things. And again, it's just one pillar. It's one pillar. It's not even my favorite pillar. My favorite pillar is still Leo AI. In fact, I'm doing a whole Lions Den on that on Friday. But uh, what's exciting about this is from a financial angle, this helps Leo Dex in many, many different ways simply because more activity. You know, 20 loans a month is who knows how many more transactions because you got payouts, paybacks, you get your cacao, you go and move it across, you move it to something else. So there's another transaction, you got transaction for to get the loan. I mean, it all keeps multiplying.
And really start snowballing.
Yeah. I mean, it's that's why I take a little different perspective from everybody else. Just shut up and build. Just that. Just shut up. Don't talk. Don't tweet. Just build. You put enough in place, and then you start talking. You get enough of the flywheel starting, and then you just let it start. Get it going.
It should speak for itself after that. Like when
Well, yeah. I mean, it's you. You start getting. I mean, what's today? June 10th, right? July, August. Let's say September 10th. 90 days. 92 days technically. So in 92 days, September 10th, you and I are sitting here. What does it look like? Do we have collateralized lending with Leo? Let's say we do. So we get collateralized lending through Leo Dex on Maya. We got Leo AI going. What do those two things alone do for the Leo platform? And what does this do for the price of Leo? Because Leo AI is only Leo Premium. So anybody who wants to use Leo AI is going to have to pay either 10 HBD for a month or 100 HBD for a year. Think about that. And where does that HBD go? That goes all into the Cacao Leo liquidity pool. So how many people will sign up just to use Leo AI? How many people will be interested in Leo AI? See, Leo Dex is a service. Leo AI is a service. Collateralized lending is a service. These are things that you can actually market. Marketing Hive makes no sense. Even marketing Leo makes no sense because nobody on Twitter is going to go to Leo to thread when they're on
Mm.
Twitter. That's just stupid. But will somebody take and collateralize their assets? Yes. Can they do it through Leo? Well, they'll be able to do it at least with Leo. And I don't know, maybe they will build the UI in such a way that whatever liquidity pools are on there, you can collateralize your Bitcoin through Leo Dex. I don't know. I don't know what what uh, what it'll all look like. I have a feeling they will try to build in all of that to capture that. So if I have Ethereum and there's an Ethereum cacao liquidity pool, I can take my Ethereum and get a loan out against it and go buy more Ethereum or do whatever I want.
I'm starting to understand it a little bit more, and it's a really cool thing.
You're starting to understand what the collateralized lending or
Yeah, yeah.
Highway.
The lending, because I was late to the party this afternoon, so I started listening to it again from the beginning. The the ta- the the cast the space this afternoon.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, it honestly is a big deal. It again changes the outlook of Leo. Now, if nobody uses it, obviously it's for naught. But quite frankly, everybody and their brother, and again, I'm talking without knowing the specifics. So it's like always the devil's in the details. So we have to find that out. But presuming that that's not onerous and outrageous, and we can spend the next 6 weeks getting a lot more liquidity in there, we can do those things. Then what we have is we have a situation where conceivably uh, we have a very viable product that everybody who's on Leo would be, and anybody who has Leo would be foolish not to be utilizing. And I think I have a feeling that once this stuff starts taking off, that really can, I mean, you'll see the price of Leo jump to 20, 25 cents pretty easily if a lot of people use this. I mean, it's just going to require a lot more Leo. And we know there's not a lot out there.
no, and I've got a bunch staked. Not well, a bunch for me, but
Yeah, and that's cool too. But then all of a sudden, and that adjusts things because then all of a sudden maybe myself or Cal or one alpha, we take a portion of what we have staked and we unstake it and we collateralize it and we use it for other purposes, let's say. And then next thing you know, um, all of a sudden that's adjusting the voting power of people because now I don't have as much stake. So, and you have a bunch of stake to move off. That means everybody else, whatever they have stake, becomes that much more valuable. Their vote becomes worth more as a percentage of the whole. And so that's another cool thing. So there's a lot of advantages to it, and this is what happens when you keep building. And I said it on today's call. I'll say it on Friday's call. I'm going to keep saying it. I'll say it on here. Numbers, 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 more, more, more. Keep adding. Every little bit counts. We need to add more. We need to get them bigger, and even if it's just us doing it, we need from 3,000 threads to 5,000 threads. That's what we got to move to, plain and simple. If
you're
we're at,
talking about a day, right? 3 to 5.
yeah, a day. If we have 110,000 in the Leo cacao pool, we need 150,000. So we need to keep pushing that higher. We need to keep pushing the diesel pool higher. We need to we need to use the Leo Dex more. I mean, we just have to keep adding numbers to all of this stuff to get them bigger to show growth. And that is what ends up feeding other things in. And so And then Leo AI is really, I think, going to do a lot. Um, it's really going to do a lot.
So Leo AI is going to be for what, writing posts or?
Well, there will be clients. You're going to have many different facets, and I don't even know them all. I mean, Cal keeps putting teasers up and saying shit and writing threads and dropping threads, and I collect them when I can, but I don't see them all, and then of course I may not understand them all. Um, but basically, it's going to be a client um, similar to what Microsoft has, where if you're writing a post, you will be able to get some information. It's not going to write the post for you, but you'll be able to get information about what you need to do to try to maximize your earnings, what's going to be most popular, what ranked, maybe something like Grammarly, how to say things better, all kinds of stuff. But then there's other things like Cal put out a thread earlier, and I hadn't heard this, but imagine you show up late to the like you did today to the threadcast. The Leo AI would summarize the threadcast for you. And
Cool.
so you could come in and get a summary of what's going on in the threadcast by accessing Leo AI. But then also you can go ask who was the 33rd president of the United States. There will be in your drop down menu where you find premium leaderboard, articles, all that on the left hand side. There will be Leo AI or something, whatever they decide to call it. I presume Leo AI. You click on it, and it'll open up a screen like you're on ChatGPT, and you just prompt it, you know, who was the, what were the ratings for Little House on the Prairie the years it was on? What who starred in Hardcastle and McCormick? Whatever you can ask, whatever it is, you ask any other chatbot because you have the large language model in Leo AI, which I presume because Cal keeps mentioning is ChatGPT. And then you have the small language model on the front, which is trained on Hive. And so that's not in the large language model. That's the training that the Leo team does off of Hive information. And so that's where it'll be able to pull your account. You'll be able to ask who's taskmaster. You ask Leo AI or you ask ChatGPT who's taskmaster, who knows what you'll get. You ask Leo AI who's taskmaster, you'll get the Hive answer because it's trained on Hive.
And this is coming soon, I take it.
Supposedly the end of July is when the target is, and Cal's been talking about it a lot. So, I mean, I don't know. I think he, I think they're because what they have to do is they have to train these things and they have to go through and test it and that type of stuff. So I don't know how long it takes. I don't know where the development is. I don't know any of that, but he keeps mentioning stuff, so they keep, I guess, working on stuff. But that alone is going to be worth the 10 HPD. I mean, and I think you should be able. And I run into this shit all the time, and it drives me batty. I know I wrote a post about something. I don't remember the exact title, but I know I wrote about it. It was a while back. And so I go to Google and I try to search for it. I search under my username and then I try to get what the article's about. And invariably I can't find it. Invariably I get some stupid shit. And I think with Leo AI, it will be able to pull up the articles and say, okay, this is what you wrote about. And it may pull up 7 or 8 articles, but at least then I can skim through and say, oh, there's the one I want. All right, let me link this. Google, it just doesn't index very much, and certainly doesn't search very well for high based stuff. And so, these are the type of things that it can do. And and then some. I mean, we'll see what else can be. I'm open, and I wrote about this too. Why not image? Why not text to video? Okay, maybe not immediately, but how about down the road? In fact, I did say about images, and Cal said, well, not before the end of the year. Okay, maybe towards the end of the year we get image generation too. Maybe they tie into ideogram or Midjourney or something like that that does image creation.
Then they could charge more HBD for that, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's. I think ultimate Leo Premium should be a multi-tiered pricing system. In fact, I need to write a post about that, but I think it should be a multi-tiered pricing system. It should have different levels, and your more active users are going to pay more money, but they get a lot more features. I think that would be a smart way to do things. At least two levels, probably three, and you could have like a 5, a 10, and a 20, or a 5, 10, 15, or whatever you want to do. And you get some basic stuff at the 5, but
And by basic, you're talking about, well, the check mark, but like you can add embedded videos at the 5.
yeah, maybe you get the ability to do HTML. Maybe you get the ability to edit. You don't get any Leo AI. You get some basic additional features that you don't have. Maybe you get a little extra promotion. You get some of the votes, but you don't get as much of the vote. That type of thing. And then the 10, then the 15. But right now you don't have to worry about it because I mean we got 240 people. So what the hell's the difference? But over the next year, maybe they can increase it and get some more HP flowing in and just start the process. I mean, permanent liquidity is a good thing. I mean, Cal mentioned that today that there's $8,000 in whatever the hell the account is for Leo Premium, and I mean $8,000 isn't a lot, but that's basically the premium membership since my opened up. So what's that? A little over 2 months, 3 months maybe. So over time, it grows, and it's going to grow rather quickly because, at least for the next month, because a lot of us are going to throw up the 100 HBD and be done for the year. So that goes in, but then we won't keep adding every month.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll trickle down. But again, once it's in, as Cal says, any fees that are accrued, the permanent liquidity pool, that account is also accruing those fees. And so as that grows, that just stays locked in. So it all compounds. And so the bigger that amount is, again, you can imagine someday where, okay, let's say it's $1 million in the liquidity pool, but over 100,000 of that is the permanent liquidity. That means if everybody pulled their stuff out, there'd still be 100 grand in there because that's not coming out. And that's where Cal talked about 1,000 Leo Premium at 10 HBD. That's $10,000 going into the liquidity pool each month. That's 120 grand.
Wow.
Think about it that way. So, it doesn't take a lot for these numbers to really add up.
And quickly.
Well, it just takes getting some of it rolling and getting some of the liquidity growing, get some of the activity growing. Um, we need success. We need some successes. And that's why, I mean, on my end, I'm pushing for 5,000 threads a day. If we can get that, there's some success. And as I said, then Eric can run around and over the course of, let's say, 3 months, we keep increasing. It goes from 3,000 to, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 in 3 months' time. He can make a chart and say, see, we're growing. Look at the amount of threads. Now, that's just one metric.
So we've got I mean, even if just the, I mean, because there's a, what did you say, 240 premium members?
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. It's 20 freaking threads or comments a day per person, and that's like almost 5,000. That's nothing. You can't
No.
do 20 threads and comments. Comments on threads, not comments necessarily on blog posts. And I mean, there's people. I did over 200 today. Cal did over 100.
Wow.
Um, Andersino, he's near or over 100. Caleb Marvel, between his two accounts, he was probably close to 200. So, I mean, there's some of us who are carrying it, and that's not even including I've been loading up news to threads. So, shit, some of those get 70, 80 a day because, they're 5 threads a piece. They're basically thread storms. So, I mean, you just keep adding all of this up, and it's like, it doesn't take anything to get to 5,000.
I wouldn't think so, not at that rate.
Yeah, I mean, and the sad part is these same idiots will be on Twitter and they'll do 25 tweets and comments in no time. So why not do it on threads? And I mean, 100 threads is nothing. You got to have conversations. You got to have engagement. I mean, if you're sitting there trying to think of stuff, you're going to spend all day and drive yourself batty. But I mean, if you're engaging and talking and conversing back and forth and sharing pictures and images and videos and all that stuff, I mean, I get threads up there every day simply because I'll watch a YouTube video and I'll watch it on threads. I'll post it on threads. And then I'll right click, open it, and watch the video on threads or listen to the video. I often don't watch them, I just listen to them. So, but put it on threads. Somebody else can pay attention to it too. But if not, it's up there. Tag it, put the title. It's another video, whatever. There it is. And maybe Leo AI, you'll be able to say, give me all the threads that have YouTube videos related to AI in it. And maybe it'll pull it up. I don't know. We'll see what kind of search that produces, but it's just numbers. Numbers. That's what digital platform, the business model is. Just numbers and just building on it.
And anything can go up there, it doesn't matter.
No, no, we need a wide variety of stuff because we don't all like the same stuff. Not everybody wants crypto news. Not everybody wants politics. Not everybody wants sports. Not everybody wants all that stuff. They want other stuff. So again, if you like it, put it up. Maybe somebody else likes it. Maybe they don't, but who cares? If they do, they do. Um, but there may be somebody who says, "Oh, I can put this up too." Yeah, sure. You know, classic television, movies, whatever. There's so many different directions it can go. People just need to think and take ownership. That's what they need.
Yeah, I watched that one with the 80s, um, what, the mini series. God, that brought back some memories.
Yeah, and there's a prime example. Okay, I posted that one. You commented, I commented back. We probably had between the two of us like 4 or 5 comments on just that one. Draz commented, I commented back. I think he commented, so there was 3, and there may have been one other person. So out of that, there were probably total like 10, 12 back and forth. Out of that, just one video. Boom, done. I mean, and it took no time to post it. Hell, it took longer to watch the damn thing. Uh, and that got 10 or 12 videos. Um, so, I mean, 10 or 12 comments.
I was surprised Rich Man Poor Man didn't get in there, but I think that was earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that was. So, again, I'll just keep beating the same drum, convinced I'm right, until I'm proven otherwise. But, I know what other people are doing isn't working. So,
Or the whole trying to get more people thing.
Yeah, to threat. It's not going to work. I mean, they started this scent thing. Oh, there's this grand initiative and partnership. There's nobody from Scent coming over. They're just scalping the token. You're just the same people who are using the damn Scent tag are the same ones we always see. So, I'll watch the daily users, but I bet they don't go up. So,
Okay, well, thanks for coming on and talking about all this stuff with us.
all right, and we have the AMA tomorrow around 12ish, give or take 12:30ish. That one's on Cal time, so no guarantees when that one starts. All right,
Okay, well, have a good night, and
all right.
we'll see you guys later.
Ciao.
Bye bye.